Alright, let's see how this audio sounds. Ooh, I actually might be a little bit loud. Okay, I'm gonna call that good. Oops. Hold on. Oh no. Stream's dropping in quality. Why is it doing that? Maybe that's just on my end, though. So if you missed the big push last Wednesday, oh, let me adjust this camera. There, now you can see more of my face. What was I doing? Sorry, I just like totally dropped my phone. Let's put that down here. Okay. So, looking at things I can redo or attempt. Looks like I need to go this way. But yeah, we hit affiliate. I also have my first subscriber now, which I'm gonna have to figure out how to do things so you can also see the subscriber. I might have to ask AU Hearts, who did this overlay, to make a change to it. By the way, he does pretty cool stuff. He does other... If you are a Twitch person, I believe he still takes commissions. I hope he still takes commissions because I will need to commission him. But regardless, you should look into him. I am having a beverage as well. I think the game could do with being turned up just a touch, because it is quiet in my ear. And I also could be slightly loud. Let me know if I need to be turned down. So let me see, what was the check with Siling?
Everything's still cool here, officer.
No need to dress this.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I think I already tried this actually.
Sorry, detective.
See, what else can I do? There is a check at the horse monument that I can redo, probably because we know who it is now.
An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island. The more you ask yourself, a silver plaque on the...
Wow, I am just losing it. Now, what other checks can I redo? There is a thing with Kim I can redo. And there is a map wall somewhere I can do something with.
Yes? You pick over what's left of your frontal cortex, but no compelling explanations emerge.
Okay, so can't redo that. I think now we have no choice but to kind of get back on some type of quest. Oh, you know what? I think I was gonna go talk to the other lady.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
I'm gonna turn it up even more. I spoke with the lorryman at the roundabout.
Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered?
We have discovered enough to conclude for now. I don't trust this lady.
Yes. And will you start an official investigation?
If there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing operation, subject to confidentiality. I am sure you understand.
Of course, detectives. In any case, you've held up your end of our arrangement. I trust you with the rest. Now it's my turn. I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands.
The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste of iron and strawberries.
I've already heard about a connection between the lynching and the strike, but I need your testimony.
I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail.
A momentary lapse of faith, you say?
They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer.
Every worker...
A member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric, or a joke. They did not appreciate the humor.
Do you need a security detail?
Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering.
Who are they, exactly?
Crenell, an Oranese military company. As
I'm
far
gonna
as I
actually
know,
turn this
3
down a
arrived
bit
in
now.
Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating. They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment.
So, what happened?
The story is, one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him. He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night.
What then?
Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenell contractors carry out their orders, for now.
For now.
It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow.
Oof.
What is the nature of this so-called investigation?
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants.
It will be all of them. The decision is already made.
Boy, oh boy, is that not good.
It's not good, no. My only hope is that you provide a single concrete suspect before the mercenaries indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put, if you don't pin this on someone good, and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
The Debardeurs have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1.
Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty. These men work in tandem using semi- and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all. As I said, a bloodbath.
Isn't this a pretty bleak scenario you're describing?
Many bleak scenarios have already come true. Nameless, badgeless detective of the citizens' militia. All we can do is keep the rest from going the same way. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation.
What can you tell me about Cornell?
Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell.
Down a deep, black well.
They boast a long list of clients. Saint-Baptiste, Welchman-Lorenz, Eintracht. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries. Guarding facilities, escort missions and such.
Meaning they're used to operating in war zones.
Yes, all the good conflict corridors, Supramundi, Yesut, the Seminese Islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil.
Anything else you got on them?
Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources. If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though.
Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP, ma'am?
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I'd be dealing with a group like Crenell.
Could you contact the company and tell them to call them off?
I have. And they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us.
You said the deceased assaulted a woman?
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it.
Who did the passing on then?
The remaining contractors. Their tribunal. It's what they believe.
What did these teenagers by the canal say?
That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez.
The lieutenant consults his notebook, his eyebrows knitted in concentration.
Odd. We haven't heard any reports about an assault in connection with the lynching. Where did it take place? And when?
Last Sunday night, At the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him.
And who was this woman?
That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor about a rumor. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe.
You'll meet her soon enough, you feel.
This colonel, the one who was hanged, did you know
You
him?
mean, did I see him alive? Yes. But I did not know him.
His name was...
Lely. His service name. A nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one.
This Lely, anything else? Nationality? How old would you say he was?
He was 40. Or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age, or gauge his facial expressions.
What else? Nationality? Accent?
He was, Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent, Oranese, or Messinian, maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it, through the injury. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once.
Let's also see if we can get information on
Lely.
the others.
One is a man, Corty, they call him, a nickname as well. The other a woman, Phyllis DePaul. Corty is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is a radio operator.
What would you say was his eye color? The deceased's?
She closes her eyes, trying to picture the man's face, then shakes her head.
I can't remember.
That's all right, ma'am. Anything?
He was 40.
What else?
He, in a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it, through the injury. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once.
What was that about a
Yes.
bloodbath?
I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Rivershoal West.
Since you are sharing, ma'am, this is also the RCM's worst-case scenario.
Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be.
Where are the remaining two
They've gone
mercs
to
now?
ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth. They don't have the same respect for the Revershoal citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes, ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting.
We still need
You're
to know where
likely
they
to run
are.
into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved.
This is a red check. And we have a very low chance of passing it, so I'm going to say we'll steer clear
That's
for the
wise.
moment.
Our goal is to avert catastrophe. Besides, you're likely to encounter them sooner or later.
How much
Until
time
the
do we have?
executions start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob and their impatience.
They don't report their progress to you?
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative.
5 days, not more, maybe sooner.
It's a matter of days, not weeks.
That's enough.
I
for
am
now.
sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask.
I have a
She
photo of the
reaches for
victim's
photo,
tattoos.
takes it, then holds it in her hand. For about half a minute, in silence.
It was taken with a frigate not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs.
Let's stay quiet and observe her expressions.
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface.
What do you think?
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. The stars. I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent.
Like stars in the sky?
Close. Port cities. This is an Oronese map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. Over 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels.
What is the use
The
of this
sailor's
map?
soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it.
Where is he now?
This one is going
times
nowhere
have
but the
changed.
Lord. What travels did the
Quite
dead
a
man
few.
make?
Vredefort, the Oronese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. He started somewhere near here, I think.
What next?
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Pretto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Semines Islands, then this.
What's
Revachol.
that?
Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, at the dawn of the Interinsulary Age.
You said you can't read it.
I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning.
Somewhere in an office lit by a single green desk lamp, Captain Ptolemaeus Price, 58, bald and bespectacled, is writing in a ledger on his desk. Rows and rows of days and weeks, laconic remarks in a single column. Patrol, case, vacation, injured. In Martinez looking into Crenel, he writes in one. Then the man puts down his pen and rubs his temples with both hands. Outside, there is a siren. Distant gunshots on the streets of the Jamrock Quarter.
This man is no brother of mine, but this is his service
That
history.
makes sense to me. We have no more use for a map of the waterways, just like we don't need sailors the way we used to. This is what the custom would morph into on the Occident. Mercenary tattoos.
Who could tell me
His
more?
platoon members? The other contractors. Though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade.
That's all for the tattoos.
Is there
Thank
anything
you for
else
your
I can help you with?
Tell me about the
What
wild
we
pines.
do. I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
What do they
The
do?
Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
How much money does
I'm not
Wild
at
Pines
liberty
have?
to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue.
A billion?
Wow.
20 billion is a large number, but the conglomerate employs 72,000 people. They all need to be paid. Then there are capital improvements, Interest payments. A conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving, it will die. Then what becomes of those 72,000 families? It's a tremendous responsibility.
Where does Wild Pines get all
They
these
started
billions?
as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Isolas 250 years ago, when pine ships explored the South Seminese and charted Lormantang on behalf of the suzerain. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the Great Unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it.
What does such a huge system want with a place like
You mean
this?
aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo?
You don't keep it moving, the workers do. The company is
We built
nothing
this
without
district.
them.
All the best parts of it. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, with its bastions, the plazas Meteor and Mosaic, even some of the old street lamps have been put back thanks to the investments from the WP. Before Martinez was swallowed by the industrial harbour, even before it was part of Revachol, long before Terminal B was erected here, the Pines built it as a resort for its Revacholian employees. A company getaway, for a weekend or a summer holiday. Then came the revolution. But that's another matter. I'm here to make sure the Pines can fulfill their responsibilities to the place they built.
With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone.
You're on a boat.
Why, yes I am.
Not a lot of people
course
on
there
boats,
are.
are there?
We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around?
What do you mean, archipelago?
I mean, we are on Le Caillou, are we not?
I thought we were in
are,
Revachol.
and the city of Revachol is on the island of Le Caillou.
Still, I haven't seen anyone else
I
sailing in
haven't
a
seen
boat.
anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle. It's for crossing long distances in the greater Revachol industrial harbor. It's not a toy.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol, between the city and the islands.
Does she have a
The
name?
boat? No. It is called Cordelati 19 because that's the type of sloop it is.
The word "it" feels strange. Such a beautiful boat deserves a proper name. A breeze ripples through the sails and tugs at your hair. Below, the sleek, fish-like shape of the hull parts the water. Beneath that, a resounding darkness. You're reminded of something. Or someone.
Cool, but your boat really
Okay.
needs a name.
How about Cordelati 19? Why? Because it was manufactured in Revachol East by a company called Cordelati, and its hull is 19 paces long.
How about Dolores?
Why Dolores?
I just like the name for some reason.
Well, it means nothing to me. I think I'll stick with the factory name. But thank you for the suggestion.
What kind of
It's a
boat
pleasure
is it?
craft, a 19 pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing. Though these days I mainly use it for business.
How do you like it?
My slough? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her.
Do you have a
Officer,
license for this
I
boat?
assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator.
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she smiles. Qualified pleasure craft operator. So charming. Where's the damn license?
Can I
I
see your
just renewed its
license?
safety inspection last month, officers. It is completely seaworthy. In fact, it's taken part in not one, but two insulindic regattas. Even finished once.
What happened the other time?
I would have finished the race were it not for an urgent work matter, much like the one I'm on now.
Still need to see a license,
Actually, you
man.
don't.
What do you mean?
The Wayfarer Act specifically denies the RCM the authority to demand anyone's operator license. It's a little known fact among us law officials.
Exactly how little known is
I
this
was
fact?
just being polite. Even school children know the Wayfarer Act.
Okay, forget the
About the
question.
boat?
I think I have a handle
Good.
on the boat thing. You seem smart. I need someone to give me the lowdown on this reality we're
This
in.
reality.
The aim is to gain a deeper understanding.
It's related to that medical episode. I have trouble remembering even the most basic
Yes,
terms of reality.
The episode. Sounds like an acute case of encephalopathy, now that I think of it.
Don't be phased, madame. He functions perfectly well. He only needs a lowdown on all of reality.
We may be here a while then. Ask away, officer. I'll help however.
All right, you're in. Begin with the first one. You'll appear worldly.
Where are we?
We're in Martinez, baby.
And what is
Martinez
Martinez?
is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour, north of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year.
Tell me more about
I'm not a good
Martinez.
ambassador. I've only been here once before, as a teenager. Not a lot has changed. There are ruins, a terminal, fishing boats, reeds, boys with boxy shoulders. As I told you, Martinez used to be a province, a workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its part. Now the reeds are the real star of the show here. The further down the coast, the wilder it gets.
You mentioned a sea. What
It's
sea
not
is
really a
this?
sea, it's the Bay of Revachol. And the bay feeds into the ocean.
Are we near the ocean?
Yes, we're on an island in an ocean, the world's largest body of water, the Insulindic.
Vast, lukewarm and unknowable, flowing in and out of sight.
Caillou,
What's the name of this
as you
island?
already know. Imagine a pebble, a smoothed over pebble amidst a great blue sea, misshapen, cracked. The cracks are the river Esperance. We're in the delta of this river on the 6th branch, the Martinez distributary.
It is clear this pebble is of enormous value to her.
Okay, that's Martinez. What about
Revachol.
Revachol?
Revachol is what you call a city.
What kind of city is
Great
Revachol?
kind.
As if it's self-explanatory, beyond patriotism, a fact.
What makes Revachol
History
great?
detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries.
Okay, who built this city?
The nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Seminine and Ile-Marat, depending on your creed.
When was
In
Revachol
the
built?
DeLorean century. 380 years ago.
And why will it resolve
They
history?
say it's where the terrible
I
questions
probably should have
of
done
our
this like
time
the
will be
first time I
answered.
talked to her.
The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest. By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts. The stuff of men.
Why here?
We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people in the middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connective tissue. It's where the money is.
Last Cop, thank you for the subscription. Interesting that I saw the little thing pop up, but I didn't get the sound notification. I'm not sure why. I'll have to mess with that. But thank you for the subscription. Okay, so... So we're pretty much at the center of the world.
We're quite a way off. About 22 kilometers from the center of the world. That
Wow, I have
soldering
leveled
line
up
is the
twice
bank of the
talking to
world
this lady.
building. The bottom floors are Insiacom, coalition government in Cylindian Mission Command.
Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time. There is no recognition, only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it.
You are my second sub, because a friend of mine who I was hanging out with the other day subscribed. But I still appreciate the subscription, and you are still one of the first, I think it's 10, get that cool founder badge. So thank you. Where
We
are
are where we are. I have no truer answer to give, unfortunately.
This is one thought you need to complete. Where are you?
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a lowdown.
This has been informative. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure my memory-impaired partner has many more questions to ask, about even more fundamental aspects of reality. Might I suggest not asking them all right now? Messier will be here later too, and tomorrow. Isn't that...
Absolutely. My commitment here is long-term.
You're right, Lieutenant. I'll
It's better
continue
not
later.
to eat all your candy at once.
Indeed. I'm always at your service.
That's all for now.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
That's all for now. Okay. So we got 2 skill points? Should probably spend these on something. So let me see. Yeah, I made that emote very rushed. Or not that rushed. I took like the better part of this morning trying to make that. I hope it came out cool. But let me see, what are some tasks, or not tasks, what are some of these checks I can like refresh? Physical instrumenting gets me 1. Encyclopedia gets me a couple. Electrochemistry gets me a couple. Composure gets me a couple. It actually looks like there are quite a few. I think I might, thank you. I might go try to fight Measurehead and then like refresh my physical instrumenting skill. Oh, we can also learn a thing. What is this one? Okay, I think I will spend a skill point to... Whoops. Learn derealization. Jamais vu, I'm gonna say that is how that's pronounced, and I will probably be wrong about that. Ooh, on the other hand, I did just think of trying to fight Eraserhead. He's probably gonna do some damage to me in the likely event that I mess up this roll. So maybe I end up just taking the skill point in physical instrument stuff. Let me also see if I have any bottles to sell. Because we're going to need, I think it's 20 real to pay for our room tonight.
The tear machine stands in the corner. A sign says,
Oh,
No. You need tear to use the tear machine.
okay. So I don't actually have any bottles at the moment. So in that case, I think what I'm going to do here is, let me look again at all of these checks. So savoir-faire, I can't actually level up at the moment. There is a map wall I can apparently interface with. I don't know where that is. Oh, you know what? That is probably in the bookstore. Let me go in the bookstore. I think this was the map wall.
The maps look old and faded. Your eye catches a map of Insulinda, a map of Revachol, and a map of Martinez. This
Ooh,
large
map
map
of Insulinda.
displays archipelagos. You see a constellation of small dots on the light blue emptiness of the Insulindic Ocean. The largest in the northeast is La Caillou. You are here. Another, far away in the southwest, Seminese Islands, Ile de Fantôme.
What
Ozon,
else?
Laurentide, Fas a la Mer, Archipelagos, North Arcade Islands, all just specks of dust on the vastness of the Insulindic. On the edges of the map, the color fades into a blur of dotted lines, black and white. In the northeast, a dust mite stands on the north coast of Caillou, in a bookstore. It's you. Radiating outwards from you, the suzerain Revachol, with a radius of 80 kilometers, still the crown jewel of this Isola, would be barely visible.
Can I see cities on
You
the
can,
islands?
on Caillou, Revachol, a single black star, on Ozon, Fondelaire, and Vimandu, on archipelagos, Croyan Moran, Villiers, on Seminine, Olduvai, and on Laurentide, Deora of the Seven Seas. Lost little pearls of light, tiny fires in the dark.
Look at the
The
edges.
ocean breaks apart into a tangle of cosines and azimuths, all pointing into pale nothingness. Windy is the north azimuth. Grad is the northeast azimuth. Samara is the east azimuth. Seo is the west azimuth. Isolas, they're called. Connections to other worlds. Words past the Insulindian, unknown to you. You only know you've never been there. You have little idea what they are. Distant stars, gods, but looking at them makes you feel almost non-existent. Whatever they are, the Isolas are immeasurably large compared to you, and very, very far away. Perhaps they are gods, gods of distance and outer dust. The north coast to the east, Kura.
Okay, is this all...
No, this is somewhere to be.
Can I buy these maps?
I'm sorry, officer. The map of Martinez is the only one available. The other two are not for sale anymore. They're quite valuable, though they might not look it. The map of Martinez is 90 cents, though.
Why is the one in Martinez
That old
so
thing.
cheap?
It's an out-of-date map of a tourist location that never was nor came to be. From when some design studio people tried to spruce the place up 4 or 5 years ago.
What happened then? I think
They
I've
didn't
seen a
get
lot
that
of these.
far. I'm sorry, they're
Wait,
quite valuable.
what is the
though they might not
interfacing
look it.
check I
The map of
apparently had
Martinez is
then?
90 cents, though.
You seem to
Yes,
underestimate.
yes. Are you interested?
Was it here?
This bookstore is not... The plaque on the shelf reads, Biographies of Famous People. Browsing
Here's a
through all
display
the
of
books,
books.
suddenly, a particularly odd title catches your eye. High-Speed Love. Next to Irv's life. Next to that, Revacholian radio personality, Guillaume Bevy.
I really must insist you buy one of the books. Reading them is not for...
She understands she has erred against the customer and
I'm sorry, I did not...
Yeah, I can't figure out what this map wall check is supposed to be. So let's just... No, it's square. Square is the thing that brings up these menus. Okay. So... I think I want to raise, let's see, physical instruments will let me recheck 3 things. That's pretty good. The alternative would be to research the anti-object task force, which I bet will also boost physical instrument, but I think just leveling up the skill is enough. Okay, so we've got this barbell here. What are
The
the
barbell
odds?
waits patiently on the floor, like a dog for its master.
Is this familiar
No,
because I'm a weightlifter?
It's not that. It's the stale smell of rubber, the squeaky sound of sneakers, your bruised knee against the mat, and a whistle. Then a memory from another life.
So I remember that one being one that actually hurts when I get it wrong, and I think I want to kind of save those sorts of checks for, you know, later. Oh, you know what? I need my flashlight. That would be why. Unless, is this the map wall that had the interfacing?
A diagram for summoning some radio frequency. Unclear. It looks like a cardi. You think so? Looks like a surveillance. Whoever all of this.
Mike, this...
Nothing.
Okay. So nothing on that front. See, what were the other checks that got reopened? So the barbell got opened, the abandoned lorry, and should be another, right? There should be. I don't know why it's not showing it to me, but there should be a check for this one.
This orange machine. You slip your. If you want to try again, then you need to.
Equip the pry bar by...
Oops. And equip the pry bar from here.
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an electric. The ice.
Worth
you
a
see-
try.
Yeah, well, that's a good pry bar. I'm not criticizing it, but I have no idea, officer.
Sooner or later, you will stumble upon a tool.
Where can I go? I may have to go down to the south and see if that bridge is up yet. Because otherwise I'm not really sure what to do here other than try and talk to Measurehead. But I'm still kind of hoping there is a way through that door that is not Measurehead. So now that we don't need a flashlight. Oh, let's go recheck the other abandoned lorry thing. We can also check out the protester guy, see if he's got anything else to say.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
You don't have any tips on how to punch a guy
Not
out,
before
do
you
you?
get in there and get your ass whooped. Learn by failure, I always say.
He might have some advice, but you got to at least try to fight Measurehead first. Return if you fail.
I'm just gonna leave now. Okay. So if I do go fight Measurehead and lose, he'll give me some tips. So let's check out the abandoned lorry again.
A lorry. The
Open
smell
the
of
door.
cigarettes and perfumes. Welcome.
Check out the
You
pedals.
wedge up, but one odd detail does.
Sandpaper.
Do the honors.
Which means that the missing lady driver was present at the lynching.
Oh. The missing eighth
Looks
party
like her,
here.
yes.
She's also
Now we know
in the
for
drug
certain
trade.
who's the missing eighth person at the lynching. Do you think that Hardy and his boys could also be involved in the drug operation?
This would fit what Joyce told us, but I
Understood.
don't want to make any assumptions.
We should still go and see what Titus has got to say on the matter. Are we finished with the lorry?
The movie stars are still smiling from the
Is it the
metallic
toolbox?
drawer slides out from the scene.
Unfold the
It's an-
newspaper, pick
it
up
looks
the
like
note.
these formulas.
The Ulan frequency system?
The pull-out toolbox slides back.
Admire the posters.
One of them particularly.
Study the centerfold.
Wait, doesn't she resemble the actresses and the
Examine the
looks like
radio.
Strange. There are so many radio stations saved here. Must be over 100.
Why would anyone
For
need so
contacting an entire
many?
fleet of lorry. Looks like we are dealing with...
Anything we can do? I'm
with
just
no
trying to
copy.
find this skill
It's
check that we can
completely
apparently
inoperable
do
with the
here.
key.
the smell of 1,000 cigarettes. Some
Check the pedals.
but
I
one
think we
on-
already did.
the movie stars are still.
Hold on.
It looks like these four.
The Ulan frequency system? I've never heard of that.
The pull-out toolbox slides back. Close.
Close the door. Okay. Like, if I go in here, will it just tell me what the check is? Abandoned glory, physical instrument, challenging. It does not say. Oh, is it this other one?
A lorry stuck.
Look in the window.
The windows are clear. They've been recently washed. He would.
Likely.
The back.
Back seat.
Race.
Stickers
The
and
driver.
insignia.
The driver as a.
Ah, it would have to be the other one then. What's the skill check thing?
A lorry abandoned.
Open
The
the
smell
door.
of cigarettes and perfume.
Check the
You wed
pedal.
yourself. But one odd detail does catch your.
Why would anybody do that?
Sandpaper? A novel technique.
Do the honors, he thinks.
Which means that the missing lady driver was present at the lynching.
How deep does
Now we
this
know
rabbit
for
hole
certain
go?
who's the missing eighth person at the lynching. Do you think that Hardy and his boys could also be involved in the drug operation?
Those jerks, definitely.
We should see what Titus has got to say on the matter.
The movie stars are still smiling.
Abandoned glory. Yep, I can't figure out what the check is that I missed. Yep. Don't know. Let's go try to fight Measurehead. We're slightly tougher. Could make it happen. And if we lose, we'll still have 1 health, hopefully.
Your race descent has only worsened since I last saw you. You have really let yourself go.
How did this happen? Your little fist.
You must be out of your mind, degenerate drunk. Say it. I am a degenerate alcoholic.
I am.
Good. Now leave before you humiliate your homoerotic organization any further.
Why are you not with the Hardy
I
Boys?
am not the first line of defense. I am the last. In addition, these so-called Hardy Boys are an effeminate clique of bodybuilders. Their company is spiritually degrading. trading.
But you're all part of the
The
union.
hardy manlets are on the pay of the company. I answer to the union alone. And I do this out of race heroism. Finance is an alien concept to the Simonies. Now leave me be.
We still need to get into the harbor. We need help with the tree situation. There must be another way.
Try the jump. Up there on the roof. It'll be worth it. Else there is little choice but to figure out.
I'd appreciate it if you didn't force us in. I'm not even sure the one bullet my chamber holds would even prick that Hulk.
How else are we gonna get through the gates?
There must be some other way. Let's go see the yard again. It faces the other end of the harbor. We're done with Measurehead here.
But I was fighting bad, unsavory ideology.
We're not here on some political quest. We are here to solve a crime. Don't make the situation any more volatile than it already is.
Can't promise that I might attack him again.
That's right. You should.
So now that we have lost the fight, let's go talk to that other guy. Come on. Why are we like... There we go.
Nice aggression with the native. Don't let the chief fool you next time. You don't need to be that up in his face.
Not bad advice, actually.
Let's talk about our right to work.
I need you to be my champion.
No, I'm not a fighter. I'm a worker.
I'm just going to leave now. So now let's head up and see if that advice helped.
Your race descent has only worsened since I last saw you.
Volition says
You
do it
have
again
really
and
let
advice from the
yourself
scab
go.
leader. Ooh. I mean, we had a 50-50 shot there.
It has happened again. The Titan has your
Another fit of criminal rage. Who?
Degenerate
Good.
alcoholic.
Now go before you end. Don't be vulgar. White or not has got lit. Mr. Clare is a man of...
Enough of this.
He looks toward the harbor, motion. Despair creeps into you.
Wait, how did I lose an
It's
extra
effect
morale?
on your weakness. There's something else in there. There has to be. But it's like reaching your hand into muddy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're shit out of. You're still coming up with sentences. That's a step up from total annihilation, right?
I'm done.
Yes,
No one
it
even
can
likes
be
me.
difficult to be on the receiving end of so much distrust and
Nothing you can say would make you. Cop
I
gives up
guess
the detective genre for.
that happened. Do I have a more recent save? I do not. Guess we get to retry some checks. Oh, we're also gonna have to go talk to the lady again. Ooh, that was a long conversation. I probably should have saved at some point. Maybe even before I did that other check. Well, guess we're starting over. Ooh. Excuse me. Alright. So, this time. Let's go. Let's talk to the lady again. I'll just kind of breeze through her stuff this time because it was a really long conversation. And I think it would be more interesting to go fight the guy again. Spoke. We've discovered enough to conclude for now.
If
I wouldn't know.
The words bloodbath sound cold.
I've already heard, but I need your testimony.
A member.
who are they?
They were.
So
He was nothing. It's where the
It'll be all of them. The decision is already made.
Boy, oh boy, is that not
If you don't-
good?
Have you ever? These men, as I said, a bloodbath.
Pretty
Many.
bleak.
All we can do is keep the rest from going the same way. One single concrete.
What is that
Yes.
about a bloodbath? Yada
Yes.
yada yada.
Then we're on the same page.
What can you tell me about
Damn.
that
They best-
now?
mean
Sad. If you, in my life, I have. Yes. I'm a.
Whoops.
Then we're on the same
I'm
page.
clicking through these a little
Scrimmage.
fast.
Or he. The remain. That the. Last son. Either way, that's a good.
You meet her soon enough, you feel.
Did you know him?
Lely.
His name?
One.
Tell me about the other first.
He was for. In a way, yes.
I
Then
keep
we're on the
clicking
same
through these
page.
too fast now. Where are
They've
they
gone.
now?
They don't have the same respect.
We still don't
You're
even know where
likely to
they
run into
are.
them
I'm
eventually.
gonna pass
That's
up on that
wise.
red check for
Our
now.
goal is to.
How
Until
much time do we have?
5.
it's a matter of days, not weeks.
That's enough
I
for
am
now.
sorry to have been the.
I have a
She
photo
read
of
for
the
about-
victim's tattoos.
Her mouth is relaxed.
I can't.
Like stars in the
Close.
sky.
Port City. The same.
Where is he now?
The times have changed.
What travels?
Then he. Revershop. I can't.
Somewhere in Martinez looking.
Service
That
history.
makes sense to me. His
Who could
platoon
tell me
members.
more?
Is there anything
I just
else
want to make
can
sure
help you
if
with?
any of these conversations like trigger another conversation later, I want to make sure I have them.
Why? Yes, I am.
Um,
Of course there are.
boats,
Yes, we are.
Archipelago,
We are.
Caillou.
And the city of Revershop. I haven't.
I-
Neither is this. A toy.
Does she
The
have a
boat?
The
name?
word a breeze ripped.
Your boat really
Okay,
needs a
because it was
name.
manufactured in
How about the
What?
sleek fish?
I think I'll stick with the factory name.
Okay, but what
It's a
kind of
pleasure
boat
craft.
is it?
A nine.
How do
My
you like
slip.
it?
I really do.
Do you have a
Officer.
license?
The crown qualified.
Can
I
see
just
your
renewed its safety
license?
inspection last-
What happened
the
the
other-
other time?
actually you don't.
What do you mean?
The Wayfarer Act. I was just being polite. Even school children know the Wayfarer Act.
About the boat. Good.
Tell me about the
What-
wild
the
pines.
pu-
What
and
do
that
they
is the
do?
terminal.
How much
I'm
do
not
they
at-
have?
A billion.
What exactly
It's a
is a
number.
billion?
It's made of 1,000 millions.
Wow.
20 bit a conglomerate the size
Where
of
did it
they
get?
started. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness.
What do they
You
want
mean
with a place
there
like
are no
this?
minor cogs in the system. Each terminal must be accounted for.
Wait, did I
lest
just
the
pick
entire
something I didn't
system
get
break.
before? That's a new
Every
looking
hiccup
thing.
in such a system means thousands lose their jobs, the world over. I'm here to assure that doesn't happen.
With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone.
Low down
Yes.
on reality.
The aim?
A sort of spiritual quest. Something.
You will find him a big fan of the end.
Nothing wrong with ancient ways.
All right, you're in.
Where are
We're
we?
in Martinez. Martinez, you would be excused for not. I'm not. This place used to be. I'm not too good at this place. I'm not a. This place used to be
Okay,
a
you
problem.
mentioned the
It's
sea.
not.
We're
Yes.
near the ocean.
Vast.
We know we're not near the
Look.
ocean.
Caillou.
And
It is clear
Caillou.
this pebble is of enormous.
Revachol.
What kind of
Good.
city?
As if it's-
What makes
Mystery
Revachol great?
detective.
Who built
The
this
nations
city?
of
When was
in the DeLorean.
Revachol?
They say
I just
by
want to make
that
sure I
mean
triggered all the same
we're
conversations.
standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200
So
million
we're on the
people.
periphery,
Speak for yourself,
basically
officer.
nobody's. I'm changing
I'm
my
well-known in
answer
certain
here
parts.
because I feel like
As to the
it might be
place,
more interesting.
you're right. We are 22 kilometers from the center of the world.
Silence. The water. There is no recognition.
Where
We
are
are.
we?
Where-
This is one.
Was there something?
This has... Might I...
Absolutely.
You're
I
right.
can-
I'll continue later.
Indeed. I'm always at
That's
your...
all for now.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know.
Okay. So did we still get our 2 skill points? We did not. So changing the answers actually did change the amount of skill points I got. I do think... Let me see what this other one is. The 15th Indo tribe. Interesting. I may end up actually passing on the thingy in favor of researching that Indo tribe. I think first I want derealization. And then if I can do literally anything that will unlock a skill point, that would be good.
A sturdy metal door guards. There is no reply.
Okay, we're gonna have to find a different way up there. Instead of... Okay, here's an autosave. I don't know why it didn't autosave that much last time. Let's go try to fight Measurehead, then talk to the guy, get some advice. Maybe save?
Right. He might have some advice, but you got to at least.
Let me go talk to Manana. Does he have anything new to say today?
Hola, Wandering Man. How can I help you?
Your race descent has only worsened since I last saw you. You have really let yourself go.
How did this?
You must be good. Now leave before you humiliate your homoerotic organization.
And we'll ask why we're not. He's not
See,
part of the Hardy
now
Boys, just in
leave
case that
me.
becomes a
Try the jump.
conversation topic. I'm just gonna pick all the same.
I'd appreciate it if...
options.
There must be some other way. Let's go see the yard again.
Can't promise.
That's right.
Ooh, I also haven't taken that morale damage I took the other time, so I might even be able to fight him.
No.
Let's talk about our right to work. No, I'm not a fighter.
Oh, I can redo Tommy's empathy check. Is that one I already wanted to do? Let me double check what the empathy check is.
I saw you poking around in Lady Driver's lorry. She in trouble?
No trouble, she's going
Oh
to be
man,
fine.
that's like a load off my mind. All that stress was messing up my rhymes.
What's the plan with those
Oh, you
rhymes
know.
anyway?
Tommy Leham's gonna be a musician. Sprechgesang, but with beats. I've got a lot of free time on the road to hone my craft.
Why Tommy
Tommy
Laham?
Lehm was taken. My real name's Jerry Lafitte. Tommy's way better.
It's more him.
I had another
The
question
man
actually.
taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
Let's try this empathy.
Ease into it. Don't go too far. This seems like a personal matter.
I'm okay.
Maybe the full-on direct approach wasn't correct. Damn.
That's all for now. I mean, we've tried a bunch of other stuff. Let's try to go punch Measure.
Your race descent has only worsened since I last
There
saw
we
you.
go.
You have really let yourself go.
Just like that, instinct took over. A solid strike straight into his throat, into the cartilage. You could swear you felt the soft palate break. The man is reeling, gasping for air. Time stands still around you. In the distance, the sounds of the harbor are falling silent. All you hear is a small gurgling sound as a trickle of blood appears on the man's lip. He's open. Rip into him. Right hook. Escalated. Get intimate with him. Bring the hurt closer.
Wait, what should I do?
Don't wait. You've only got a millisecond. He's coming too. That fighting pose. Watch out. He's expecting the hook.
Perform a spin kick. Ooh!
The man lands with a dull thump, like a broken down puppet of muscles and sinew. For a moment, he still tries to keep his head up, dazed eyes looking at you with unimaginable surprise. To your left is the button.
Just press the button.
You slam your fist on the button. The man collapses entirely, his head rolling to the side.
Looks like you're the new measurehead now.
Her voice is surprisingly calm.
No one is the new measurehead. Let's go before he gets...
Let's check out this crate. Oh, that unlocked the door. And now we didn't even have to use that skill point. So we could learn that other thing.
On second glance, someone has forgotten to properly close one of the drawers.
It's unfortunate for the Union to just leave their paperwork lying around like this.
Let's see what's inside.
Open
the drawer opens smoothly. Inside is a well-organized selection of brown folders. Hundreds
Browse the
of
folders.
documents containing logistical data. Two kinds of transactions stand out. Materials coming into Revachol from the outside world, from Muindi, Grad, and even Ilmara. And the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revachol. Kuron, Coal City, La Delta, and Jamrock are listed among the many districts where the imports are being sold.
Anything
It's hard to
interesting?
make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. You try to focus, but the lines are getting blurry.
What's volition this?
Look how blurry all
Really?
the lines on these papers are. How unwieldy your own willpower is to yourself. You're like an absurdist Samaran monk, focusing through not
If I
focusing.
let my eyes
Is
go
that what you're doing
completely
with
out
those
of focus.
photos over there?
Yes.
Right. This is probably not relevant to our case. After all, we're not in
The drawer.
Close the drawer. Let's see what's in here. Ooh, we can heal that morale that Measurehead took. Ooh, volition also boosts morale. Good to know. Oh, there's my coat.
The tarpaulin cloak is...
Grab
As
the
your
cloak.
fingers touch the tarpaulin, it almost feels like the cloak wants to deliver. I will shield you from the elements and give my life for you.
So let's check out. So I assume the cloak would replace my jacket. This is just a straight upgrade on the jacket. Oops. There's something else in the interact menu. What is that?
The front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Friesel. From the sides of his head, a pair of white antlers spread to the corners of the cover.
White antlers.
Because white antlers are one of the symbols of communism. They represent a society in accord with the natural world and at the same time above it.
Why Friesel?
Because Friesel was incompetent, foolish, and cruel. In short, the embodiment of everything the communards wished to overthrow. It's satire, you see.
Flip
To
through the
your
pages.
disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. Just column after column of closely set text, interrupted occasionally by little doodles in black and white. After rifling the pages with your thumb the magazine is divided into several sections. International developments, Kunst und Kultur, and local concerns. Just inside the cover, there's also an editor's note.
Let's read the
Comrade,
editor's note.
as you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal expression, Du cristal à la fumée. This was his way of describing the way the rigid, crystalline structures of capitalist ideology turn to smoke under communism. But, like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are at risk of going à la fumée, unlike many publications which are content to spoon-feed their readers reassuring drivel. La Fumée is committed to telling the radical truth, even when that truth may drive away potential subscribers. So please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture, and international affairs. Please consider subscribing today. Yours in struggle, the editors.
Kim, I think this is a communist magazine.
What do you expect? It was laying around the office of the Debarders Union. They're probably bankrolling the thing.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
Let's catch up on
This
international
section
developments.
includes a long, tedious critique of the latest round of free trade negotiations between the EPIS nations and the Free State of Seminine. You also skip over an article about heavy fuel oil smuggling along the Messina border, something about bear wrestling in Samara, book riots in Yugograd. Face it, you really aren't interested in foreign affairs. You're not even sure where most of these countries are. You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
And culture?
It takes a moment, but gradually it dawns on you that Kunst und Kultur must mean arts and culture. As you leaf through this section, you come across several reviews of recent radio plays, as well as a brief artist spotlight featuring a local artist identified only as CS. The main feature, though, is a long essay titled Tip Top Tournée, a critical Mazovian perspective.
Read the
This
profile
so-called
of
artist
CS.
spotlight is really just a brief Q&A, made all the briefer by the subject's evident hostility to her interviewer.
What is Tip Top
The
Tourney?
actual article is surprisingly light on details, but after skimming a page or two, you gather that it has something to do with motor carriage racing.
Let's see what
You
the
think
communists
you're
have to say
settling
about
in
Tip
for
Top.
a relaxing recap of the most recent season, maybe sprinkled with some nice anecdotes about a few of the more colorful drivers. Instead, you find yourself skimming a 10,000-word feature about all the politically problematic aspects of Tip Top Tournée.
What's wrong with Tip
Where
Top?
to even start? For one, there's the crass commercialism of its sponsorships, and then there's the practically criminal emphasis on deadly motor crashes.
Who wrote this stuff?
Oddly enough, this article has two bylines: Nasteb Encolada Bernal and Exilus Buka.
What's wrong with a good motor
And that precisely is
crash?
what's
Just keeps it
problematic
interesting.
about it. Were it not for the promise of random, spectacular violence, audiences would quickly lose interest. At the end of the day, it's the destruction of these 750,000 real races that you're really watching for.
Wow, you're right. I really am just in it for the
You
violence.
see, one cannot avoid the conclusion that Tip Top Tournée is simply the apotheosis of spectacular entertainment under capitalism.
Kim, did you know Tip Top Tourney is actually an orgiastic ritual of capitalistic destruction? I had no idea.
I can safely say the thought had never crossed my mind, Detective.
I wonder what else is really just a metaphor for life under capitalism.
I'm sure most things are, if the young men who wrote this article are to be believed. If I had to wager, I'd say they've never even seen the inside of a motor, much less a motor race. I'd take whatever they write with a large grain of salt.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
Let's see what they mean by local
Unsurprisingly,
concerns.
much of this section is taken up with articles declaring unqualified support for the dock workers' strike. You skim the headlines. Paint the harbor red and white. Martinez tames the wild pines. A city in revolt. First, we take Martinez. Then, finally, there's a brief article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Capeside Apartments of illegally attempting to evict certain communist tenants simply for not having paid their rent.
Charging rent just to live somewhere is pretty outrageous.
The writer G. Martin remarks dryly that capitalists love wealth redistribution, so long as it's only redistributed upward. You flip back to the front of the magazine.
Okay, put the magazine away. Alright, I think I need a bit of a bathroom break here, so I'm gonna try something I haven't had the chance to do before. I'm gonna run an ad break. I will not touch the game while the ad is running, anything like that. I will be right back in like... the easiest way to do this is I have a button here that lets me do a 1 minute thing. So let's do a 1 minute thing. I will be right back. And we're back. Okay, the ad break did end, right? It looks like it did. So I'm gonna keep going. And if it didn't end, this is a learning experience. But it looks like it ended, so I'm gonna keep going. I kind of like being able to just take a break midstream though and be able to like put something up. Not totally be like rushing back, I guess. Ooh. Bottles. Cigarette butts, more bottles. So many bottles. We're gonna be able to pay for our room just off of this. Come on. Select the thought. There we go.
Numerous empty wine bottles glisten in the rain. Someone partied really, really hard here.
Wait, how hard?
Well, they went through 6 bottles of potent Pilsner, 3 bottles of Commodore Red, and almost 4 packs of cigarettes. It must have been pretty hard.
Did I do this?
Well, yes, I think we can say with relative confidence that it was you.
I must have been on an
Yes,
advanced
this
scouting
was pretty
mission in the
advanced.
harbor. That's what that must
For
have
now,
been.
let's just move on.
I mean, these are all free money, basically. wow. Anything else? So those stairs take me down the other way, but let me see what's in here.
This is the night watchman's booth. The name on the door reads, Rene Arnaud.
So this is where Renee works. I'm gonna look
But
around.
please hurry. We are pretty easy to spot up here.
Nothing incriminating catches your eye. The cabinets are clean and their sparse contents meticulously organized. There's a framed photograph on the table.
Take the
It's
picture.
a black and white photo of a young couple out in a street fair. The man, Rene, is dressed in a Royal Carabinier uniform. The girl is young and very pretty. She is smiling playfully at the camera. Rene looks like he's about to smile. This photo must be tied to some good memories.
Why did you take that picture of René?
I'm gonna ask him about
You're
it.
really interested in that old soldier. Not sure I understand your fascination, but sure.
Okay, it looks like we're not gonna be able to get at that other stuff, so let's... Great machines in quintessence. Or quiescence. Something like that. Cavalsund. Ooh, a healing item. That's pretty good. Take the real. Shipyard ahead is oddly quiet. Cargo belts. Ooh, no money. Speaker tower. Ooh, why is that highlighted in blue? Oh, nope. No.
What do you want to know? Good.
You pick over what's left of your frontal.
Come on. What am I thinking about? The musk of oil and rust comes from the chasm in front of you. It smells like blood. Ooh, are these the kind of gloves I need to lift the thing? This might be the kind we want for lifting the barbell. So I may go try that.
Container, container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, container, put the logos on. Container, container, used to be Wild Pines. Container, container, now belongs to Everard.
As much as I like the phrasing of like, do not interrupt the little man in his joyous activity, let's say hi.
Everard, 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 he looks after everyone. Huh? Well, hey there. How can I help you, mister?
The look in his deep blue eyes is as sincere as you've ever seen. Kind of makes you feel like an arsehole for no apparent reason.
I see you are not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you?
What is it with you people and
I mean,
scabs?
I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know, and folks gotta eat. Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister.
What are you doing with the
Oh,
containers?
I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So it's easier for the crane operators to spot them.
We have a logic of 0, and that's a red check, so we can only do that once. So I'm gonna hold off
Sure,
on
mister.
that.
About what?
Where is everyone? The
Look,
harbor's
most of
empty.
the guys are down at the gates, keeping the scabs from coming in. We're on a strike. The whole union is. You don't have to work when you're on strike. Ha! We haven't worked for 2 months now.
So no one is working?
Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Evrard is in his office, where he always is. And Jean-Luc is guarding the gate. But Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Evrard sent them on a nice vacation. For a week or so.
What trouble did Titus and his friends
I'm
get
not
into?
really supposed to talk about that. That's union business. Him and his boys stirred up something in town. Probably drank too much and got into a fight or something. I heard Mr. Everett telling him to take some time off.
Don't go all bad cop on this simple, friendly fellow.
Really? Did they kill
No,
someone?
I don't think they killed anyone. Let's better talk about something else. Titus and his boys do good work. I don't want to get them in trouble over a little drinking.
Do you work here?
Yes, yes. Everybody needs a job, and this is mine. I'm Leonard, by the way. Leonard Bellick. But everyone calls me Leo. I'm like Mr. Everett's right-hand man when Mr. Edgar is out of town, and Mr. Edgar's right-hand man when Mr. Everett is away. Actually, Miss Beaufort is the right-hand man, but she's a lady.
Who is this, Miss Beaufort?
A real pretty lady with a skin like those Douai Sucre candy bars my missus likes so much. Them are real nice to suckle on once the dinner is done and me and the missus sit down beside the radio. But I can't listen to the radio all the time. There's so much to do around here and I'm always busy keeping things running here. Yes I am, yes I am.
Stay on this Miss Beaufort topic.
Who's this Miss
Oh,
Beaufort
Lizzie.
you mentioned?
She is a real sharp tool. Mr. Everett put her through some fancy school and everything, east of the river. 4 years she was gone, and when she came back, she was all fancy and lawyerly. But she's a real nice girl. Grew up in this here neighborhood, knows everybody and gets along with everyone. Real pillar of the community one day, I'm sure.
For a fraction of a second, there's sadness in his eyes.
If me missus and me was to have a child, I'd be real happy if she turned out like her. But she can't have kids. Dr. Lemaitre said so, and she knows about such things. Been a doctor for almost 50 years, she has.
I think you're doing a great
Yes,
job
this
around
place
here,
really
Leo.
seems to run like clockwork. Keep it up, Leo.
Well, thanks a lot. Coming from you, it means a lot, really. Sometimes I feel some of the guys don't really get how much I bust my ass for them here. But you guys are alright.
The white rectangle on your clothes might not mean an awful lot in Martinez, but the recognition from an authority figure made Leo's day.
What's in the container over there?
Oh, that one. That should be empty as far as I know. Lots of containers here have nothing in them. They're just waiting to be loaded up.
I'm looking for the
Oh,
leader
you
of the
want Mr.
dock
Everett
workers
then?
union.
He's an awfully nice fellow, he is. Him and his brother are both nice fellows. They've lived their entire lives in this here neighborhood. Guys like Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar, his brother, are real good guys. Made Martinez what it is today. Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar and I went to the same school we did when we were boys.
Easy now, Leo. I just want to know where I can find this
Mr.
man.
Everett is where he always is. In his office, of course.
Okay, I'm off.
Bye-bye now.
Leo seems very nice. So I guess this is Everart's office. I wonder how he'll feel about us, given that we just beat up one of his guys to get in here. Taxidermy fish that tells time, you say? Interesting.
Before you is a walrus of a man seated behind a large desk. He looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised to see you. With great effort, he straightens himself up in his chair, yet says nothing. He simply stares at you.
Let's get straight to business. There's a dead body in a tree.
Welcome, Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi. It's good of you two to stop by. Please, have a seat. I'm Everard Clare, head of the Debarders Union here in Martinez. I'd offer you my hand, but unfortunately my health prevents me from getting up. You understand?
He looks extremely comfortable. The tiny folding chair, on the other hand, looks like a torture device.
You go ahead, detective.
Whatever he has in store for you, it can't be good, he thinks. I'll do my best. Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name.
Take a seat.
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great use to one another.
Remain serious.
So tell me, how can the head of the Debarders Union help a representative of the Revachol Citizens Militia today?
The chair you're sitting on has got to be the most uncomfortable chair in the world. It's violating your backside.
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Gart. Some people have no manners, it pains me to say.
Which one was Gart?
This should take care of that nonsense. It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with a cafeteria manager. Go ahead, take it.
Hey, that's 25 real. That's good money. Think of all the stuff you could.
Let's leave the check, because I feel like taking a bribe from this guy is going to make it harder to get information out of him.
Okay. I respect a man with principles. No handouts, then. Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you, Union people are on it as we speak. I've got my best hounds looking for that lost gun.
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is an echo. The world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only two words escape its gravitational pull. Lost and gun.
I'm not worried. I got this.
Are you all right, Harry? You say you got this, but you seem a little anxious to me. Don't be. Everything's going to be all right. It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out there playing with it right now, pointing it into their own mouths. It's in a safe place. I just know it. I have a feeling everything's going to be all right.
Now this red check has an 8% chance. I think it's better
Officer,
not to fail
we will
it.
deal with this later. We don't need Mr. Clare's help with this.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
God, you're sweating. Your knee is jerking. You're about to cry, aren't you? You're about to cry because you lost your gun and those children are gonna shoot themselves with it.
No, I'm not.
Mr. Dubois, you don't look so good.
What is this, Mr. Dubois? He keeps repeating. What is he trying to pull?
Mr. Dubois! Mr. Dubois! Harry!
While Everard is
sliding.
distracted by your odd behavior, the lieutenant's eyes are mapping everything around you. The folder, desk, papers on the wall.
Mr. Dubois, are you okay? Can I get you a glass of water or something? Are you having some kind of medical emergency?
Maybe you could use your hands somehow, in a kind of throw-in motion, like you're throwing that Mr. Dubois act right back at him. He's Mr. Dubois.
Actually, this chair is uncomfortable. I could use that glass of water.
What an odd demonstration of... you got me, Harry. I don't even know what. As entertaining as it was, I'm afraid we're wasting our time. And I'm an extremely busy man, as I'm sure you are too.
Okay, enough. We are here to ask you some questions pertaining to a murder investigation.
Quick, here's your window. Get yourself together and ask him questions. Police officer questions. It is about time to stop embarrassing yourself. Questions will help you regain some of your lost dignity.
Wow, there's a lot to ask about here. I'm told the union is involved
What?
in the local drug trade.
How could you say that to me? You know I appreciate a joke as much as any Johnny fat guy, but I can't take slander. Are you actually investigating this?
I am.
You've hurt me, Harry. Me, a friend. But you know what?
And gets over it in 2 seconds. Seems like it didn't really hurt him.
I trust you, like I trust all my friends. And I know you'll never talk to me about this again, because you don't want to wound me. So do what you want, and let's change the subject.
Thank you for your understanding. We will continue to do what we must.
You too, Lieutenant. You know, I like you, but you never were my favorite. I'm a Harry guy. I'm Team Harry.
None taken. Did we have anything else to do here, Harry?
I've just finished investigating the local drug trade.
Yes, your side investigation. Thank you. You've got some spirit clearing up phony drug accusations alongside this murder. I'll talk to the mayor and see if I can get you the key to the city, Harry. Now let's talk real business.
Not even a speck of anger in his voice. That's that then.
Aren't you going to ask me
Am
how
I
I
going
got
to
in?
ask? Hell, Harry. You spin-kicked my strongest man in the face. I saw it from my window. Would you ask a man like that how he got into your container yard?
I understand. I am a terrifying death machine.
Don't worry, Harry. Between you and me, I'm not a huge fan of his race thing, but the Union did not get where we are today by frowning on eccentricity. Anyway, I assure you, I am a very well-informed man. Information reaches me before I even get the chance to request it.
Could you help me
You
get a
might
dead
have
body
noticed
down
there's
from a
one
tree?
hanging on a tree behind the hostel cafeteria.
Oh my. Don't take this question personally, but why would I get involved in this matter?
Mr. Clare, the man was hanged with a cargo belt, a steel-reinforced cargo belt. It's safe to assume the Union had something to do with the murder. Besides, getting the body down would benefit all of us. It's a stain on the neighborhood.
I almost think say nothing here. 'Cause how much do we want him to know that we know? You're a community leader. Help your community out.
I can certainly see how having him up there might start affecting some real estate values. But of course, all joking aside, I am going to help you. Jean-Luc, the cop who bested you in physical combat is here, and he has a little dead body in a tree problem. Namely, he needs it to be taken down. Please extend him this courtesy. You can find Luke down at the gates, but you already knew that. Anyway, he's going to help you, now that he's back on his feet.
I want to talk about the hanging.
Oh, of course. That's your main thing here. That's why you're in Martinez. I know everything that goes on around here, and I would love to help you, like I'm helping you with the body. I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavily. I understand you need to interview me.
I sense there's a but.
But there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean, if we could just calmly talk, exchange information, we could blow this thing wide open.
Yes, that sounds good. Let's do that.
But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door-opening machines. Incredibly talented at opening doors.
Is that true?
I'm not
Do
sure I
door-opening
understand.
machines?
If you're asking us to break down someone's door, it's not going to happen.
Come now. I just need you to go open a little door for me and leave it unlocked. A simple thing. Absolutely nothing shady about it.
Does this jiggling ooze think he's going to use you? He's got another thing coming. Play his game, son, with your eyes peeled. He's going to slip up, and when he does, you're going to come out on top.
Whose door is it?
Oh, no one's. It's just a weasel. A weasel lives there. Nothing for you to worry about.
What do you mean by a weasel?
A loud blabbering weasel. When weasels feel no one is watching, they start acting foolishly. Just go there, unlock the door, and leave it open. It's been such a burden on me, Harry. I just want this to be over so I can discuss business with you.
Why don't you just open it yourself?
Harry, I'm a very busy man, and more importantly, I don't have that extraordinary physique you do. You look like you could run around all day.
You want to send someone a message that the police are working for you.
I repeat, I'm a very, very busy man, Mr. Kitsuragi, and therefore I must occasionally enlist outside help. So what will it be, Harry?
I can't accept this for now.
Of course, Harry, I understand. But if that's the case, I don't think we'll ever find your gun. Even worse, we won't be... Perhaps this was just bad timing for you. Know that you can always come back to me. I really hope you do.
Yes, we both understand what...
This may be the only way, he thinks. I won't hold it against you. In fact, we probably should reconsider later.
I met Joyce, the company representative.
Oh, that's very nice. I haven't gotten around to her yet. I'm very, very busy, you see. I hope you're getting along. One thing I want to make very clear, Harry, is that this is not some kind of union versus corporation situation. Everyone is just pals here.
Just pals, you say?
We're all trying to do what's best for Martinez here. Don't feel like you can't cooperate with her, because you and I are such good friends, and I'm helping you get that nasty body down from the tree. I'm not a jealous guy.
Whoa, that's so nice of him. Suspiciously nice.
What happened to the previous negotiator, Mr. Gaumont?
What do you mean, Harry? Nothing. I let him go.
He made concessions for the company in previous negotiations. Why would you let an ally
He's an
like
old
that
man,
go?
Harry. I wanted him to spend more time with his family. God knows how long he's got left.
You called him a bad word for short people.
Harry, I have little people in my organization. I would never call someone a midget. What is this? Honestly, I'm beginning to think you're a midget, Harry. I'm only kidding, Harry. You're not a midget. No one is. We're pals.
It's hard to say if he really lost his temper, or if this is another one of his tricks. This man almost never angers visibly.
Are you sure? I find it a little
I'm
odd.
just a nice guy, Harry. I wouldn't be where I am now if I wasn't nice. Politics is all about emotions, and I want you to have positive emotions when you think of me.
Okay then, positive emotions it is. You like positive emotions.
Joyce said the previous union leader vanished under suspicious circumstances.
Vanished? Harry, the woman left her casserole in the oven and couldn't make it here in time for the voting. Oh, did I leave my casserole on? Better go home and check. The election can wait. When she got back, the whole thing was over.
Joyce seems to think the union is lowballing her.
Lowballing, of course. This isn't a casino, Harry. Real people, real livelihoods are at stake here. But everything's a casino for those rich types.
His expression makes it clear. This is childish and irresponsible behavior.
Why haven't you let her in to
If
see
she
you?
actually wants to see me, she will find a way. Any good negotiator would. And I just don't have anything to discuss with a bad negotiator.
He doesn't want to see her. It's as simple as that.
Let's talk about something else.
Of course, Harry. Let me just assure you one more time. It's perfectly okay to share anything we discuss here with this Joyce. This is a completely transparent organization. I have no interest in what she is doing, but I myself have nothing to hide. Your business is your business, and I respect your privacy. Just remember, none of this is secret. Tell her about all of it. My brother's picture, my singing swordfish clock. Tell her how overweight I am and how I'm helping you find your lost gun. Tell her about everything. Everett doesn't mind.
This is weird. Not nice weird, but okay.
I'm gonna leave now, but we might
Wait.
talk again later.
You need this to get in and out through the gate.
Thanks, I was wondering how I'm supposed to get
Here,
out.
you're one of us now. A real red and white union man. Take care, Harry.
So that was a conversation. I feel like I should catch up with Kim. I should also go turn in all those bottles I found. And use those new gloves to go lift those weights. Wow, opening this place up actually opened up a lot of stuff.
Yes?
Tell me about the case again.
What do you want to know? Good.
Okay, I guess we can't really follow up with Kim right this second. Ooh, what's this?
A rusting control panel with several knobs. 2 buttons marked Marsh and Arrête are faded with use. With a
Marsh.
loud grind, the crane shifts overhead. moving a massive metal container through the air.
Ooh.
And with a surprisingly quiet thunk, the crane places the container down. This crane was built with a purpose, which has now been fulfilled. To move this container.
What's
Who
inside
can
the
say?
container?
All you
I can't see how that was worth the records, except for seeing the crane in action.
Let's go see what this box has in it. Because we were told
Before
nothing.
you stands a cargo container, just one of many in the yard.
I think there's something special about
Is
this
this like your
container.
thing with that wall again?
Maybe. I can't tell. I think we should investigate
do?
further.
Because I don't.
Wait, why
There
not?
are a million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one?
It was hanging from the
You
crane.
just picked one out because you wanted to interact with a cargo container. We are not here to interact with containers. We are here to talk to the Union, right?
You
Open the
attempt
door.
to turn the handle. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement. No
Knock
reply.
on the door.
No reply.
Nothing more to do here for now.
You're back before the cargo container. You attempt to turn the handle, to no avail. The doors to your left, the lieutenant
So I bet to open that, we need to either do something for Everart, which I'm not super inclined to do, or okay, it seems like those stairs don't actually do anything. So yeah, that opened up some stuff. It actually didn't open up as much as I thought it would, now that I'm thinking about it. The main thing I would say it let us do is now we can go lift that dumbbell. And I guess if I boost my volition, I can redo that check.
Yes?
Why am I talking to Kim? I'm trying to open the door. What's this? Oh, right, we should also talk to the guy about getting the body down.
Do not presume this has drastically altered our race dynamique.
It was just something I had
Our
to do.
personal dynamique has changed. A little.
Everard told you to help us get the body down from the tree.
So it was. You bested me in race combat to reach my superior, then had him give me an order. I salute your cunning, enemy. I will go and remove the body from the tree with my bare hands.
You're so noble, Measurehead.
But while I am gone, someone must stand guard on the bridge. That someone needs to be you. Both of you.
Lieutenant, what if we don't want to do that?
This is the uncomfortable result of not taking it down ourselves. I can live with a compromise.
Listen to your little friend. He is wise in his childlike way. His mysterious race may yet prove fierce competition to my heroic haplogroup.
Okay then.
Babe, see that they stay here the whole time.
The woman's gaze follows Measurehead as he leaves.
So, you guys are like cops or something?
Apparently so.
Ooh, I like men with guns and power. I'm Katya, by the way.
You hear that? That's he's breaking something.
Yeah, Jean-Luc must be really tearing it up over there. I wish I could see it.
I also wish I
Look at you! RCM rent-a-cops! Guarding that bridge like Everard's lapdogs! Is this where it's at now? The RCM is for sale!
And who are you? What is your business here? Why are your clothes 4 sizes too small for you?
That's none of your business.
A shrill laughter interrupts you, echoing across Martinez. It's Kuno. Then, the man turns to look behind him at the behemoth appearing around the corner, approaching him, walking past him.
The corpse has been removed from the tree. Stand down and congratulate yourself. You have sided with Ray's victory today.
There has been no side choosing. We did what we had to do to keep
what
order.
you had to do was to become a Union man for all to see.
So, let's go see what Measure had accomplished. Oh, let's also sell all of those bottles.
The tear machine
Insert your bottles.
Your bottles clunk into the machine, and the money appears with a satisfying jingle. Do you know what you should do with that money, kid?
So now we have $10. I could maybe go sell a bunch of postcards to get the rest of the money. Ooh, we can also ask other guy about the photo. I think I will work on the actual murder investigation first, and then ask about the photo.
You missed a good show before. A kid came by and completely fucked the tree to pieces.
He fucked the tree up! Fucked it good! It was porno!
Shoot that shit at Kuno, Pigonaut.
Got any speed?
Fucking right, pig. Kuno's filling bathtubs with that shit. Kuno's a kingpin. Fuck no,
Gonna
pig.
have some.
Kuno ain't dealing to the popo. Not doing the pork pen for your sad speed habit. You don't know Kuno.
He's not worried about prison. He's got to at least know a source. Look at him. You need to befriend him first.
I gotta ask, who is Kuno?
Kuno's Kuno, pig?
Kuno. Primal. Violent.
So you refer to yourself in the third person?
The fuck are you calling a third person? Kuno's the fucking first person?
He looks slightly confused, but proud he came up with that retort. But right as he's getting distracted.
Watch out, Kuno! He's trying to fiddle you! He's gonna put his hands on you! Help! Pig's got Kuno! Help! Rape!
Help! He's got the Kuno, help!
I'm not doing everything.
Everybody, please!
Escalate, Kuno! His dick is out! You're afraid!
Pig's in here, Kuno! Somebody, please!
It's a 42% chance to pass. Let's go for it. Ooh.
You didn't shut him down. Your fat fist didn't meet its target. Instead, it pulled...
Pig's trying not to cry. Pig, Kuno thought you had this. What happened?
Fucked your shoulder, fucked your knee, fucked your fat body up!
Yeah, I deserved this.
Yeah, you deserve this. Trying to show your dick to Kuno. Kuno was scared. Kuno beat the...
Now, how about we go and do something?
That autosave is convenient.
The corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an absolutely demolished pinewood branch. It's gently laid on one side.
Well, it's down.
Mr. Measurehead has done a good job. Nothing is too broken or compromised. The victim is ready for a field autopsy. Yes. 1. Investigation of the scene. 2. Initial examination of the victim. 3. Field autopsy. 4. Transportation of the body to the morgue. We are on number 3.
The fuck are they on about?
Cop's gonna cut his shit up!
Don't we have someone else for this? The doctor?
No, you and I are detectives. The honorary rank of detective signifies our ability to handle the entire incident chain, from autopsy to cleanup to social work, everything.
Wait, honorary rank of detective?
An honor and a burden attached to your rank once you've proven yourself able. usually after 5 to 8 years of field work. Mine is Lieutenant Detective.
Yeah, I feel like a detective.
You are. Your station would not have assigned you on this case if you weren't. Now...
First, what exactly is a field autopsy?
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
Let's get in there.
There truly is a time for everything, even for yellow gardening gloves. However, they are lacking hygienically. I suggest you get in there in limited capacity.
All right.
I'll ask you when I need you to. For the most part, maybe I should handle the contact and you take notes?
We just fill this in, right?
That's right.
You knew it because you inspected your ledger. The lieutenant is relieved you know the protocol.
Open your ledger at the field autopsy
The dead man
form.
stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with
Assistant.
That's you.
Ooh. Do I commit to the bit? We always commit to the bit.
the corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just lies there. The next box says
Coroner's case number.
KK. Next.
Name.
We've heard the nom de guerre. Lely. It's better than nothing. Write it down. What's next?
Date of birth. Age.
Roughly 50.
the corpse looks ageless, like meat on a hook.
Race.
Mondial.
The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other.
Sex.
Fucky, fucky!
Male.
Pigs can have sex!
We'll write the correct
Nor
thing.
does he look male, with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face.
Date of death.
We're still going with March 4th, 51. What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
KK 57 0503 0815 listens motionless, with the cargo belt still around his neck. Only one box remains.
Evidence of treatment.
None, at least not after the initial examination.
A strange word. Treatment.
What exactly is treatment anyway?
Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem.
I'm not so sure. Didn't the footprints look like he was carried over?
They'd have to have incapacitated and carried him over. This man was more than a match for untrained dogwalkers.
Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-DeLorean burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Then, somewhere in Jamrock North, a small wood shed behind Rosencrantz Row, Lieutenant Nick Feuerbach puts his hand to the chest of a small corpse, no larger than a monkey. It's raining outside, light drizzle. There is darkness in the shed. Elsewhere yet, an obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette bull-like against the window. Outside, Grand Coudon. The day is turning dim for Sergeant Mac Dawson. Hand extended, he approaches, to make sure she is dead more than anything else. The building is tall, 7 stories wind-wrapped in solitude. Most of the apartments are unoccupied. This was a suicide. The other, an accident. The small one. And so, all across Jamrock, Coal City, GRIH, 42 deceased persons found today. 42 stations of breath.
We should...
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why.
External examination summary.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
See, it's happening.
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
Write it down.
The rest of the clothes have been removed post-mortem by scavengers in order to get to the victim's ceramic armor. Officers are in search of the missing pieces. Removal of the boots is left for processing.
Write it down.
Tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a map of the night sky. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene, using a Trigat Mini.
Write it down.
The deceased has a cargo lashing belt around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow. Length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end.
Write it down.
Well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age, about 50. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature, below freezing.
Write it down.
Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
Write it down. Let's avoid
Lividity
touching
is
it.
consistent
He did
with
say our
hanging.
stuff is
The
not
head
sanitary.
is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs, consistent with stones thrown post-mortem. Low velocity.
Fucking low velocity? You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest, consistent with predation.
Write it down.
Ligature mark. The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Good thing we got these chain cutters.
Always good to think ahead. Now... we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. Carefully, with as much precision as you can.
See, my pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
Look for a good
The
spot
belt
to cut.
is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising from the yeast.
Ooh. I can't even back out of this. I have to try this now. There
After
we
some
go.
deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together. You squeeze the rubber handles together, sweat forming on your brow.
Press down.
Snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck.
as it ought to. This is where its grip on the curdled meat is gentlest, pulling up.
Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters.
Write it down.
Chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact, genitalia...
No! Let's get out and see!
I fucking knew it!
This is clearly what they've been waiting for, ever since the autopsy began. The lieutenant is trying to make it as boring as possible.
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
Let's write it down and move on.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip.
Bullets have bitten little pieces out of him. It must have been excruciating, especially the hip. Before you is a temple of pain that knew little tenderness in life.
In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin.
This is the body of a soldier, a mercenary.
We have a real museum here, of battles, wars. Last item, hands.
Let the lieutenant work alone.
Hands are clean. No sign of a recent struggle.
Were we expecting any?
I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, this stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment.
Write it down.
Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next?
Internal examination. Summary.
Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
You don't even have a joke.
Nope.
Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact and remarkable.
Write it down.
Respiratory system. Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen, hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
From here, it looks as though the clown-faced man is screaming. The tendons of his jaw are torn apart. Hyoid ripped from the force of the lieutenant's hands.
Look inside the dead man's mouth.
No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there. Sickly sweet air, unlike anything living. You feel like you're about to throw up again, straight in that mouth of his. No, you don't. You can keep it in. You can keep anything in.
Oof. Look deeper inside.
You manage to suppress the contractions trying to enter your stomach. All it takes is concentration. Through it, you see nothing but darkness. More meat and darkness. There are ancient mysteries down there, Kobo. Ask me later.
Hemorrhaging present in mucus.
Write it down.
Hepatobiliary, Na.
Why, don't we have anything?
Are you a hepatobiliary expert?
I don't think so.
Neither am I.
And that's it?
That's it. Same for toxicology and serology, Na.
Both?
Unless you have untapped reservoirs of knowledge there?
The completionist in me wonders if there's something we could still do.
Like a toxicology screening? At this stage, I doubt processing will find anything, even if he was brimming with cocaine. But still, you should add a request.
Brimming with cocaine.
Write NA and add toxicology requested.
Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging.
Write it down.
Gastrointestinal. Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila. What's next on the list?
Description of injuries. Summary.
Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too.
Bite marks.
Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted. And your opinion, officer?
Non-fatal post-mortem.
Agreed. Next injury?
Contusions.
So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 boxes.
Also non-fatal post-mortem.
Right.
What's the 4th field for?
Nothing. Just in case.
Ligature mark.
A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Write it down.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible.
Fatal injury.
That's it. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned. But it's a start. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over.
First, how did it go?
Well, we established probable cause of death. Some would say that's the goal of an autopsy. We also requested a toxicological screening. That was thorough. The results should arrive in a couple of weeks, if we are lucky. I would not hold my breath.
What else?
We were thorough with the list of injuries too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy.
Oh yeah, well done, Master Detective. Maybe a drink is in order?
Perhaps a drink is in order. Later, I mean.
Now, you see, that worries me. You will die if you drink. You know that, don't you? You are proving a useful detective. The organization would miss you.
Please get yourself together. The lieutenant from Precinct 57 thinks.
What now?
I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg. For processing.
He's thinking, did I miss something?
Whoops.
Despair creeps into you, getting fat on your weakness. You're still coming up with sentences. That's a step up from total annihilation.
Yes, it can be difficult to be on the...
Nothing.
Okay, so I didn't realize I would just take damage from messing up that check. So let's go ahead and load that autosave that happened just before we started that conversation, I'm pretty
Comes up
sure.
the detective genre for social red.
Okay. Gotta stay hydrated. Okay, so we've already saved that we failed the
No, you are. There truly is a time for everything, even for yellow gardening. I'll ask you when I need you to. That's right.
You knew it because you...
Come on, officer. You know what. There truly
Get in
is a time.
there.
I'll ask you when
Alright.
I need you to. That's right.
You knew it because you inspected your ledger.
Tell me something, dead man.
Shoot, Looney Rooney.
Enough.
Come back.
Try to
I
remove
thought
the
we
boots.
decided to leave it to processing. Let's not turn this into some kind of circus.
Open ledger at the
The
field
dead
autopsy
above
form.
those, and
That's you.
Begin.
KK. Next. We've heard.
Okay, there's a lot of
And
stuff in here
mm.
that's just like
Mon-
write
Yeah.
it down, write it down, write it down.
Where's. What else? None.
a strange word.
Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem. Then again, the right lividity is easy to produce if you know what you're doing.
Your central nervous system recognizes this. Some else, and
We should
the corpse cannot feel
clothes. Babrodi.
the
The rest of the clothes have been removed post-mortem by scavengers. Tattoos. The operator, the assistant, the deceased, well-nourished. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
You know what? Let's try to do stuff differently.
The hair under your latex fingers feels cold to touch, wet.
Stroke his hair gently.
The stench is suffocating. Strands of dark brown hair start sticking to the latex of the glove.
Write it down.
Lividity is consistent with hanging.
Fucking low velocity talking sh.
In addition,
Write down.
you get your mark. The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We
You got just the right tool for that.
always
Good
good.
thing we
We
have the
need to.
chain cutters.
See?
No, he ain't. You pigs are.
Look for a good spot
The
to
belt
cut.
is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck. You
Oh,
jam the
no.
cutters right under the knot. That seems like a smart idea. Yeah, somewhere there. Already they're buried deep in the man's flesh. Then you rotate them to get a better hold. The lieutenant looks by, somewhat worried as you summon power word.
Yeah, fuck.
Told you, man.
I should have a go first. I think I have a strategy.
Let him work.
He sinks the cutters into... Yes. Snap.
Here. The rope rises to a point, leaving
As it ought to. This...
hemorrhaging is
Write
chest
it
is
down.
No.
this
genitalia is male and unremarkable.
Ah,
No evidence of injury.
inspect.
The dead man's penis is average-sized, congested from the downward collection of blood. You should touch it.
Write it down and
Back
move
is
on.
symmetric.
Bullets have bitten little pieces out of him. It must...
In addition, I see smaller
Body of the
Mhm.
soldier.
Last
Write it
item.
down.
hands.
Pick up the hand.
His flesh...
Pleased to meet you. Where are you from and what's your name? I'm only fucking with you. I know where you're from. From Cappadocia. And your name is Il Corbo. What can I do you for, Il Corbo de Cappadocia? I did, Kobo. I did. Reminded me of when I was just a small boy.
Before this happened to my face and my body, you did me a kindness there. We should do this more often. Be close like this, I mean.
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from stroke.
Are we
I
expecting
was.
any?
Ooh.
Internal
Central-
examination.
You don't eat
Musculoskeletal.
with his eyes.
Dihyoid respiratory cavity.
From here, it looks as...
Look inside.
No, you don't. You can keep it in.
Look deeper.
There are ancient mysteries down there.
Hemorrhaging present in mucus. Hepatobiliary. NA.
Don't have any. Don't think
Neither
so.
am I.
And that's it.
That's it. Same for toxic.
Both.
Unless you haven't like a toxic.
Right.
Cardiovascular. Gastrointestinal.
down.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach.
Write it down.
What's next on the list? Let's see.
Injuries.
We have bite marks.
Bite marks.
Head.
Write it
And
down.
your opinion?
Non-fatal.
Agreed. Next injury.
Confusions.
Has confessed to causing.
Coagulate.
Non-fatal.
Right. Next. A dark red abraded. I see hemorrhage.
Below the note.
Opinion.
That's it. Let's wrap this up.
How did it
well,
go?
we also we were thorough.
Oh yeah. Well done, Master Detective.
We know
I
how
need a
that
copy
goes.
of that out for processing.
He's thinking, did I miss something?
Let's wait, because I do want to try to get that check.
Jamais vu. Derealization. Jamais vu. The opposite of déjà vu. Not already seen, but never seen. Everything that should be familiar appears strange and new, like some half-forgotten day in your childhood. Only now. That's the feeling you've been having. And for who knows how long. You should go and ask Joyce Messier about this. What world are we in? This is a fundamental question.
So we're almost done with a rigorous self-critique. Wait, it says unlock. Do I have a skill point? I do. So I could up my perception. What would that open up? Besides the other check. It would literally just be this one check. I feel like maybe I should save my points for other stuff for now.
Vigilance officer, what can this old carabinier do for you?
I found your guard boots.
Yes, the Debardiers Union pays me to stand vigil during the night. Not out of any political allegiance, mind you. I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and money is tight.
He feels like he has to justify himself for some reason.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday.
Why do you want to leave?
It's a private matter.
You see, officer, René is the kind of man would rather die than admit he needs medical assistance or, God forbid, sick it. A real man's man is just gonna ride it out.
I'm fine, goddammit. Mind your own business. It's nothing. Just got to cut back on coffee.
Who was working
No
your shift
one.
that night?
The boss has been unmanned since last Monday. There's no other guard. It's just me.
No one has been guarding the container yard since last Monday.
Yes. It's not actually an issue. I mean...
Look, officer, the container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before René. Monsieur Claire had that booth built specially for him. It's mostly decorative.
Mostly
The
decorative.
possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any ill-minded individuals.
Evrard created this job for René because he knows the Royal Carabinier's pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated Kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words.
I'm gonna go with there's absolutely nothing wrong with tear collecting.
Oh, I didn't mean to imply there's something wrong with that. I do it too. Everyone does it. It's an excellent side thing.
Yes, yes, yes. Can we conclude the topic?
He is not going to become an entrepreneur.
I saw a picture in there.
She is nobody. This is none of your concern, and I refuse to discuss my private affairs with the RCM.
The lady is Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu, and she sure as hell wasn't a nobody.
Yes, yes. Like I said, it would be up anyway, so might as well keep an eye out. It keeps my senses sharp.
What happens if I fail this? Oh.
Despair.
I should really be more careful about just doing those checks.
Whatever noble, there's something. Yeah, you're still coming up with sentences. That's a step up from total annihilation.
Yes, it can be difficult to be.
Nothing you.
Well, let's go do that again. I'm actually running a little late on time, but I'll at least get us back to where we just were. Come on. And whoops. Load game. Is there a way to heal in like the middle of the day without just spending all of the money we have on healing items? 'Cause I might need it. Field autopsy, yeah.
An honor, you are. Come on, officer. There truly is a time for everything, even for yellow gardening gloves. However, I mean when I need you to. Until then, I should handle physical contact, and you should. That's right.
You knew it because you inspected your ledger. The lieutenant is really.
Shoot, Looney Rooney. Come back later.
I thought we decided to leave it to processing. Let's not turn. I thought we decided to leave it to processing. Let's not turn this.
Above those.
That's you.
The corpse.
KK. Next. We've heard an. What? NA.
The
Mondial.
The.
Mais.
Big.
What else? None.
A strange word. Treatment.
Interfering with the body's position. Then again.
Your central. Some elsewhere. The build and so.
We should stop.
The corpse cannot.
Clothes.
See?
Babrodi. The rest of the clothes have been removed post-mortem by scavengers in order to get tattoos. The upper torso. The assistant. The deceased has a cargo well-nourished. Body hair is light brown. Distribute.
The hair under your latex fingers. The stench is suffocating. Strands of
lividity.
Fucking talking.
In addition, there are bite marks on ligature mark. The steel wiring. There's too much.
You got just the right tool.
Always good to think we need to cut.
See?
No, he ain't.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck. Sweat.
There we
off
go.
The rope,
as it
hemorrhaging is up. Chest is intact.
No!
The,
Genitalia is male.
you should touch it.
Back is symmetric.
Bullet.
In addition, I see. Last item. Hand.
His.
Pleased to meet you. Where are you from and what's your name? I'm only fucking with you. I know. You get me, Kobo. I feel like you were once. For tenderness and kisses yourself, but then shit went south and now you're ahead of even me on the pain front. We should do this more.
Hands are clean. No sign of. I was. Ooh. That's all. Central nerve.
You
Musculoskeletal.
with.
Yeah.
Dihyoid. Respiratory. Oral cavity.
From here, it looks. No, you don't. You can keep it. There are.
Hemorrhaging present in hepatobiliary. NA. Neither am I. That's it. Same for toxicology. Unless you have like a toxicology. Cardiovascular. Gastrointestinal. Digested semi-solid food. What's next on the list? Let's see. We have bite marks, contusion, head, and your
Bite
opinion.
marks,
Agreed.
fatal.
So, the scalp bleed
Contusions.
has confessed to cause.
Coagulate.
Fatal.
Right. Next. Nothing. Just in case. A dark red. I see hemorrhage.
Below the note.
Opinion,
That's
fatal
it.
injury.
Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over.
First time to
Well,
go.
we also we were thorough.
Oh yeah. Well done.
I need a copy for processing.
He's thinking, did I miss something?
Tell me something, dead man.
Shoot, Looney Rooney.
At the autopsy, you said you have ancient
Oh
mysteries.
yes, Kobo mi Lobo. In the gift horse's mouth. Tracts and wakes and waterways. Ancient materials buried.
Yes, but to where?
Just a small gulp away, my beloved Kobo. Come back later, Kobo. Amuse yourself with...
Jamais vu. Derealization. Jamais vu.
So I know if I level up volition, that will help my morale, which I do need, it seems like. Could also go with endurance to get some health back. I think I will take a point in volition. I'm not gonna be so easygoing with the attempts this time, though.
Yeah, I'm an. Yes, it does. It's a. No one. Yeah.
No coffee. Evrard created this job for René.
Oh, he is not going to become an entrepreneur.
She?
The lady is Jeanne-Marie Bo.
Yes, yes. Like I said, it would be up anyway.
So we took care of Renee's thing. We can try to get Siling to give me money, I guess.
Everything's still foolish. Oh, okay. Sorry, detective.
The bridge is still up. What about you, Guy? You got anything new to say?
Good day to you, officers.
Maybe let's pawn some things.
The boomboxes wait on the shelves, and your boombox, that gold. You see rows of toy soldiers guard.
Anything else? Doesn't look like there's anything else really worth looking at in here.
Hello again. How can I help you? Sure, let me have a look.
I'll check my pockets.
Anything else you're thinking of selling? I'm not purchasing any more and especially that tie. It swallows photons around it. I have no need for necrotic objects.
Your mother is a necrotic object! I'm fun! Look at me!
Oh, no. I don't. A photic path? Another time, perhaps.
Feeling warm and enthralled by the movement of light, while the mind continues to race forward. Lucky bastard. He's probably on Pyrrolidon. It's tough to... A drug developed by the military to treat and prevent radiation sickness. It has psychedelic side effects, and it makes your eyes turn yellow.
How would I know?
There's a note of indignation in his... Those triangle patches on his vest. You have a feeling they mean something, like they're similar to the halogen rectangle on your jacket.
I was with the Emergency Relief Brigade. You know, after the People's Pile disaster. Had to take Pyrrolidon for radiation sickness. That's what you were hinting at just now, wasn't it?
He's taken it for mental and emotional, not physical pain these days.
People's Pile.
Bad idea. Some poor leftist built a particle decay generator in hopes of bringing affordable electricity to underserved communities. It malfunctioned. Radioactive waste everywhere. Probably some of it in you too.
Tell me more about
We were an all-volunteer
brigade.
force. Self-organized. Tried to help the fire brigades contain the spill. I lived by the river since I was a small boy. The Esperance. Didn't have the art to let it all go to shit without trying to do something to help out. There wasn't much the volunteer force could do, however. We wasted years in the river mud. Years getting sick.
Must have been tough.
There's a reason why everyone's tried to forget any of it ever happened, and why no one has tried to repair or replace the pile. So much disappointment and early deaths.
Whose fault was it?
No one's. Everyone's.
So much...
A bunch of poor people built themselves a primitive nuclear reactor, hoping for the best. What do you think is going to happen?
How did you end up
The
running a pawn
cleanup
shop?
happened 15 years ago. I was young then. Later, so I came to Martinez. People told me don't go there. It's a shithole. I said, people, we just had a nuclear pile meltdown. I'm gonna get as far away from Forberg as I can. Still in the same city, but I like the theory more than the story. Outward movement, not vortices.
Yeah, you gotta get in on those vortices, my man.
Care to share your
Have you tried it before?
It's almost like he's worried for you. The lieutenant steps away, pretending to admire some of the... Go ahead then, he thinks. As long as you can walk straight, I don't care.
I think I've tried it.
Here you go, man.
Yes, darling. That's the coalition government ordained parolidom. Straight into your gut.
Of course.
I want to ask about my
Sure
missing
thing.
friend. Oh, never mind. There's
Sure,
nothing
man.
new. Let's check out this breakthrough.
Rigorous self-critique. Here it is. Hard facts from the man you are. You once jerked off in the locker room and were caught. You held a young woman by the arm and kept her in your apartment for 20 minutes against her will. That's right. These are not flights of fancy. These are real deeds, Harry, emerging from the darkness of your past. You tried shooting a fleeing suspect in the foot, but hit him in the pelvis, crippling him for life. And, above all, you let life defeat you. All the gifts your parents gave you, all the love and patience of your friends, you drowned in a neurotoxin. You let misery win, and it will keep on winning till you die, or overcome it.
So, now let's bump up that perception to give us a better shot at the other check. I have a volition check with Kim. What is that?
Yes? What do you want to know? You mean like... They didn't identify. There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matter. Just to be clear, we are police officers. No, it's not a particularly. The deceased is a security guard for a corporation involved in a labor dispute. It doesn't take a DeLorean polymath to put the pieces together. I just don't see the case getting more mysterious. Then you're in luck. I expect the case itself to be less challenging than navigating this community. Good.
No response. He just arches his brow. A moment passes. The lieutenant...
Me? I don't see how my life is pertinent to the investigation. That's a fair point. Alright, for the good of the investigation, what do you want to know? That's correct.
That makes him a Beano Claude. Completely uncopped material, if you say so yourself.
Are they? They're mostly just...
You could use a good, normal peer yourself.
That's because I'm half Seolite, or quarter. My father's father was from Seoul, so was my grandmother, but from my mother's side. It's not an interesting topic.
What is Seoul?
It's a part of the world, officer. A geopolitical entity, and a geographic division. I told you it wouldn't be interesting.
You're only making it sound uninteresting. I still want to know more.
You're barking up the wrong tree. I don't speak a word of Seolite. I've never met either one of my grandparents, and I've never been...
He's glad to have shut down your question.
Tell me a secret about yourself. Ask
Your
again.
brain sends the signal to your lips, but they refuse the order. Something is paralyzing them.
What's happening?
Something the matter?
This guy's got authority off the charts. With just a flick, nothing. You better hope he doesn't abuse his authority. There's a lot of it. The lieutenant relaxes his eyebrow, and you say,
What do you mean?
Yourself?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I can't say that it does, no.
The lieutenant produces his... That's where his conversation... You're super lucid, yet psychedelic. You don't need office supplies to connect to your nerve.
Good. Let's change this. Excuse me? You have a distinctive way of walking. If I were to walk in front of you, I hope you don't take this the wrong way. It's just a collegiate. They say it's a scene-clearing technique developed by one of your lieutenants for gathering evidence. It's erratic, yet thorough. Prioritizes containers.
Why containers?
I don't know. Containers contain.
Passing along frivolous interdepartmental...
What is that volition check then? Does it only appear in certain situations? I'm gonna have to figure out how that works at some point. So, it's getting late. I think I might end it here soon. But before I go, let's try that other check. I think what I'll do is I will save before I do the check, and then if we fail it and die or something, there's no consequence.
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic. No, these tracks are not interesting at all.
Okay. Well, that's another check I'm going to be able to redo at some point.
The man is decomposing visibly now. Every hour, Your arm reaches out, and your eyes close.
I also forgot to save before it, but okay.
It's dark all around. His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a rubber spider, your gloved hand crawls on his features.
Put your fingers in his mouth.
The oral cavity is cold and moist. You're on the right track.
This
the
feels
tongue
right.
moves freely in the cavity. Can you feel it? You're so close.
Open
A
your
vision
eyes and
of
look.
black and dark red death, pried open by your hands and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. Death fumes rising from his throat. And there, in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in the soft palate, you see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. No larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius, the edges appear darkened. A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound. Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage, wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brainstem.
The fuck is happening?
Brainstem.
Yes, that's what you've seen the drawings. You've studied.
Feel around
The basal
first.
ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex. The funk soul brother at the back of his head has gone dark forever. Your yellow fingers slide into the remains of the limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres. The ululations of the limbic system have ended. All is quiet.
There's a cavity.
The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper.
Fucking cavity, see?
Quivering with awe.
Push deeper.
Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow. All the muscles in your body harden. Time to enter him.
Wriggling.
Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly. Cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down your wrist as you push deeper until you feel it on the tip of your finger. Ice cold serrated metal. Its edges cut right through the latex and into your finger. The pain is barely noticeable under the adrenaline rush.
I feel a solid object.
Can you get to it?
There's a tiny crack, a protrusion in the cranium, right in the back of his head. Your finger.
We have the makings of a very small exit wound here.
Forget about the fucking exit wound, Beano.
Her voice is absolutely sizzling with excitement.
We have a 92% chance to pass this. I'm just gonna go for it. There we go.
You pick the object between your index and middle finger. Feels sharp, like metal. You press your teeth together. Your jaw is clenched. All you need to do is just...
My pig's fucking got it?
He's watching his old man get the big prize at the claw game.
What? What is it?
The inside of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove. Sweat dripping down your brow. Careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth. The garden glove is covered in blood right up to the wrist. Between your fingers, a small flower, a blossom made of lead.
Fucking beautiful!
A bullet.
The bullet falls in the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eyes and says,
A non-caliber. Rifled. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact. Of course, you deserve it. We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry wound with an abrasion collar. Soft palate, back of mouth. High velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound?
Sounds about right.
Opinion, fatal injury.
Agreed.
And one last thing. We should amend injury number 3. Ligament mark. New opinion, non-fatal. Post-mortem. Treatment.
It's all treatment.
Yes, and the belt around his neck. The hanging. Even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done.
Agreed.
I have had my doubts since you showed me the tracks. Why did they carry him over? Why not march him, I thought. There was no satisfying explanation. There have been other signs too. Small details. Everything is too neatly designed for us to assign probable cause here, as we did, full-heartedly. Well, no more.
We almost fell for it, he thinks.
Who would do this?
That's for us to find out. But this, it will make finding them just a little easier.
Why would anyone do this?
To hide something. The real killer, the real motivation, what really happened here.
Maybe the bullet holds more answers?
Yes.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
I think I need to wash myself.
Oh, you really, really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening.
What happens next?
We bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can transport him to processing myself. Work on the case. Tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything to... I leave that choice to you. And
the word lingers in the air of the yard. Far away, dogs are barking. Detective.
After you bag the corpse, Lieutenant Kitsuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You can do side tasks, and even the main case, but it might be more difficult. Plan his exit accordingly.
I think... let's wait until a little later. Actually, you know what? It's already getting kind of late. I think I will save inspecting the bullet for next time. But let me see. Thank you everybody for hanging out. Let me see if there's anybody I can leave you with here. Tell you what, let's go raid. Yeah, good night, Plasticop. I might take you to Tayoshi Yuto. I'll use they pronouns. I don't actually know what their pronouns are, but they were one of the whatchamacallit, organizers of PersonaCon, which was like a digital Persona convention that was pretty cool. Right now they're playing Risk of Rain. But let's go see them. Hold on, let me make sure I'm spelling this right. All right, I will see you guys on Wednesday.
Ouch. Holy shit, yo, thank you for the raid, damn chinchilla, holy shit. Appreciate it. Give me a hot second.